All right, how's it going, guys? Welcome back. Hopefully everybody's day's going well. We got the Pittsburgh Penguins on deck here today to try and, I guess, can we call it a rebuild? I mean, they're already a status contender. I guess for the Penguins, it feels more like a cup or bust type of build here, but we'll take a look at the contracts they got laying around. We got Crosby and Malkin. I can't forget about how great these contracts are. 8.5 and 9.3 million. You can't beat it. Considering the guys are getting 10, 11 million a year, you can't beat that. Now, Letang's getting 7.1, which is a little tough. Gensel's at 5.8, pretty friendly there. 5 on Zucker. That's a little expensive. Hornquist at 5.1 is a little expensive as well. And then Schultz, somebody will probably have to keep the 83 overall defenseman, 5 million. That's about average. The cap space is sitting at really only 1.5 million. Where's all the cap going here for the Penguins? I guess they got, there it is, Bukestad. Dumoulin getting 3.9. So if there's a center or somebody we need to move, he'd be a guy. Tanev's getting 3.4, a little deep right there in the pockets. We should have filtered 3.15 there by Jack Johnson. Blue Jacket legend getting 3.15 million a year at a 79 overall. He will probably be the first defenseman to go though. So that 3.1 will be a little bit of cap space for us there. Murray's getting 3. Wow, really? Where is? I guess they just have a lot of averagely, I wouldn't say averagely, but yeah, about average prices. A lot of guys in a 5 million range, which makes it really tough because that means odds are we're gonna have to pick one of these guys to get rid of at an 83 when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, 6, 7 really around 4 million plus right now when it comes to players. But again, Dumoulin might be a guy, Jack Johnson might be a guy where we swap those players out for a couple defensemen. We'll look at the lines here real quick, see what we're kind of going after here, what we got to work with. Gensel, Crosby, and Malkin. That's not going to be the first line. We already know that's not happening there. We'll put Russ there for the time being. It looks like Aston Reese. You said how much is Patrick Marleau again? I feel like you signed a cheap deal here. Yeah, 0.75 million. Okay, so we're good there. Tanev, again, is the guy of concern. I think they're 3.4 million. We'll see what's his player type here. Two-way forward. That might work. It's all two-way forwards and a playmaker. I will address it real quick because a lot of you guys keep bringing it up in previous videos saying, well, if you want to have the chemistry proper, you know, you can change it in the settings where you can just go ahead and change their player type. But as far as I'm concerned, again, everybody's welcome to do their franchise mode builds the way they want or play franchise the way they want. But as far as I'm concerned, if you go into the settings and change a player's type to a power forward, playmaker, sniper to get that +5, you may as well just go into the settings, click on attributes, and +5 every single thing on the player's attributes and put it back in there. In other words, I find it as cheating. Again, you're welcome to do it however you want, but for me, that kind of, you know, it defeats the purpose of trying to build a team if you're just going to go and change the player types. You know, we obviously know Sidney Crosby is not a power forward in real life, and you're going to completely change that. It's like saying, oh, Malkin, you know, I think you should be a 96. We'll bump up to the 96. So we'll continue to try to build the line combinations by, if we want the boost from the chemistry, we're going to have to trade for the players. So what we're looking at here, and interestingly enough, as we talk about it, that first line, if we could pick up a power forward to play with Crosby and Gensel, it doesn't have to be somebody really good, I don't think. As long as it's somebody that fits on that first line. Russ does fit kind of on the first line. Crosby's good there. Gensel's good there. Yeah, so if we could get the power forward in that first line, the way these guys' chemistry is looking for that first line, it looks like from a coaching perspective, though, yeah, there's not a lot of guys. Malkin fits on his second line. Hornquist wants to be on a first line. What is he? Oh, Hornquist, you're a power forward. Hit me with this. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Don't even have to trade for anybody. We all know Hornquist. We see it now. It all makes sense why Hornquist plays so well with Crosby. I got you, EA. They seen it. They seen it when they set that up there. So the second line consists of right now, Zucker's fine. No, he's not. He's going to go in the third line. Malkin's fine on the second line. We have Rust, who does not want to be on the second line, who is a two-way guy. Zucker's a two-way guy. Even when a third line wants to be here. No, there's a lot. I'm guessing the coaching scheme here has it where a lot of guys just don't want to be on the second line for whatever reason right now. I don't know I didn't check out what our coach's ability thing was, what he's looking for here. But yeah, that's what it's looking like. We got a lot of guys. He might be a defensive-minded coach. Seeing how low every single one of these meters are. Normally, you get a lot of guys who are very, you know, wanting to be on the second line type of guys, where their meters very high for the second line. Oh, that defense isn't that great either. Letang's decent. Pedersen's good there at the second line. We might have to change coaches here. I don't like seeing how low all the chemistries are for these players. We'll take a look at the offensive defenseman. So we can get a two-way defense or a defensive defenseman there was Schultz. Does Schultz want to play on the second line? No, he doesn't want to play anywhere. See, that's what kills you right there. You really don't want to be anywhere. You put him on the third line though. And who's a defensive defenseman here? Dumoulin. Dumoulin's probably not going to stay though with that contract. You're not a defensive defenseman. You're not a defensive defenseman. Jack Johnson's a two-way guy, so there isn't one. But we'll see if Dumoulin gets the... Yeah, Dumoulin will get you the... No, Dumoulin don't get you the +3. Really? Even putting the defense and offensive defenseman combo with these two doesn't get you anything, because that's how bad the line chemistry is. So let's take a look at this coach real quick. This is the second line. That's what we have to look for. I know we have the first line at a +5, but it's looking like we got to start with the coach here. And again, we'll talk about improving that defense, maybe pick up an 83, 84 there. But first things first, we got to find better chemistry this. The first line doesn't need to be the only one that's boosted really good here. And there's just too many guys that don't really fit the scheme. So where in the heck is the coaching staff? Right there. Coaching staff, and it is Versteeg, Chris Versteeg. Not really. Oh, staff chemistry. I was gonna say staff chemistry. I seen that 75%. So it's what do I see his thing at? He's happy. Overall morale. Where is his 64%? He isn't. What? He's an offensive guy? Coaches with an offensive scheme work best with offensive players. What offensive players? Besides Crosby and Gensel and... okay. I guess he's got that. He just doesn't have the line chemistry for a lot of these guys. So let's see if we can find... I want to find a balance here. You know what drives me nuts? And maybe I'm doing this wrong, or maybe it's just because EA is kind of still new with the whole coaching thing and they're working out the bugs. But I can't fire the head coach and then just instantly hire a head coach. I have to fire the associate coach, hire an associate coach, and then promote him to an NHL head coach. All right, we're looking at Mitchell Dahlin, 71% on the team fit, and he's a balanced guy. The balanced guys usually seem to work a lot better, I think, here when coaching comes to play here. I'm going to offer him a contract. I'm going to assume he's not going to take it, but we can sim up a day and fire somebody. Maybe that's the secret. We offer him the money. And no, I want to give him the head coaching job. Offer contract. Thanks for the offer. I'll get back to you in a few days. So if we do that, and then we fire our head coach, this is going to be interesting if this works or not. We're going to fire our head coach. Will let us leave without a coach? No. Okay, you currently do not have the correct amount of coaching. See, that's the problem too. Please fill out the following. How? We can't. I knew it was going to do it. I guess we could promote and then demote him later. Would they let us do that if we promote now and demote later? Maybe that'll work. But the problem is now he's not going to accept our contract because we said, okay, here we go. We'll give you this contract. But we want you to be the head coach, and the coach's role is currently filled. So we'll go back here. Can we offer him another contract? No, we're going to have to sim up a couple of days and redo that. But we'll see if we can make this work here. All right, there we go. We got Dahlin joining the team there. We had to re-offer him the contract where he was an associate coach as per expected there. So we'll go back to the coaching staff here right quick, and we will hopefully be able to promote him. Nah, see, it's not going to let him fire somebody. All you got to do is like that, EA. All you got to do is like that. All right, fine. You're gone, I guess. We're firing you. I hate to break it to you, but, you know, we had to promote you just to fire you because logic here. We'll promote you to head coach, and we'll just hire some random guy that fits this team, I guess. Again, maybe a generalist. Is there any out there that would help this team? That's 55. That's 55. We'll just look for a chemistry guy in general. I don't know how much it makes a difference here when it's an assistant kind of guy here. Oh, Versteeg! Oh, he wants to be an NHL coach. That's not going to happen, buddy. Sorry to break it to you. So we'll offer you this money here. Go to take your contract. Hopefully they accept that. We don't have to worry about that. We can get out of here. Did I offer that guy the right role, though? I don't think we did. Associate coach in the current role we need is... Oh, it's associate. Okay, we're perfect. So let's go ahead and take a look at these lines one more time. See if there's a bit of an improvement with the new coach in town. The first line still... Oh, it's only a +3. That's unfortunate. So we killed the first line. But at the same time, we're still talking 90, 96, 86. So I'm not too worried about that. Wow, Hornquist plays everywhere. What happened? Does Gensel not fit on the first line? How are we only a +3 now? Really? Even with Gensel being... it's Zucker. It's Zucker. Okay, I was going to say it's not Gensel. It's Gensel guy. He's decent. Interesting. I guess everything's balanced, but I'd still think you get that +5 there. Apparently not. So we'll take a look at what we got here. Now, Russ looks better on that second line. Malkin still not so much. Zucker is... What is Zucker's position? He's a two-way guy. Malkin's a playmaker, and I'm trying to think of a sniper playmaker combo for that second line as well there, if possible. I don't know if anybody in that third line can fit that role. Do we have any? I don't even think we have any other snipers laying around. Yeah, it does not look like it at all. But everybody fits well. See, I like this coach. He balanced. Everybody fits on every line pretty well here, so it's a lot of flexibility to work with. So that's nice to have. Bukestad's a power forward. Interesting, Bukey. You're probably going to get a promotion then. These power forwards are hard to come by. He's maxed out. What if we have a Bukestad in the first line? That won't do it. Even with that maxed out first line chemi, it's not going to happen. But he could be a third line guy, fourth line guy, either or there. What do we have else to work with? So you could play with Shiri if we put him there. And then we picked up, again, it'd be a sniper game. But I don't know if you want to pick up a sniper for that third line. He could play in a second line, but he's a center. So we'd have to pick up a center, which we could make happen, I think, here. We'll put him right there for a good time. We talk playmaker, powerful remedy, snipers left. Genso is a sniper, just for example here. We'll click on him, see what happens if he played there. That would not. What am I missing here? This coach doesn't agree with the chemistry apparently, because it might be Malkin. I guess Bukestad doesn't really fit on the second line either. He isn't maxed out by any means. Surprisingly, still only a +1 with that right there. I thought that bumped it up a little bit. I guess not. All right, then. We'll make it work with what we have. We'll put you back here for the +3. Yuki, you can go back on the fourth line for now. And again, we'll look at, I'm going to say, we'll go to try to replace Aston Reese here. We can always bump guys down on the lines here. Guys like Russ can go back to the bottom 6. So we'll try to find, I would say, a medium tier winger if we can. The 83 to 85 range on defense. Jack Johnson and Letang playing on the first line, just killing it. Pedersen, these guys are still max chemi there. Must both be second liners, close to second liners. So that's a good place for them. But they're 79 and 80 overall. Yay. That ain't gonna work. Justin Schultz wants to play in the first line now, though. So that might help the first line out with him and Letang. Yeah, that will. Okay, perfect. So Schultz and Letang, we got our first line combination there. The second line, I mean, if those guys actually fit on this second line, that would be fantastic. So we have a big predicament here, because by the time we get to moving these guys down a line, it's not gonna work. Marino, Jack Johnson. Nobody wants to play on the third line. So we'll try to find anybody that can fit, preferably every D pair. That'd be fantastic. That's going to be tough to come by, but a second or third line defenseman would work here as well. All right, so from a defense standpoint, we're looking at Muzzin. Muzzin's a two-way guy, fits in all D pairs. And Butcher. Again, we're talking two-way defenseman though. So you know when you pick up them two-way guys, odds are you're not going to get the +3, you're just going to get that +1, which would still work for these guys. You're talking a second line of an 86, 84, or 85 overall. I think that would work. It scares me having to downgrade or put our other guys on a third line now, because I know they don't fit there. And the salaries are going to be tough. So we're going to try, I guess that's going to try to trade for them both at once. I guess you can't quite do that. So we'll go, did we go Muzzin first? How's Gustafson? He's a two-way guy as well. Defensive pairing 3, all D pairs for Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk's an offensive defenseman, so he's an interesting one. You can combination him with a defensive defenseman, and all of a sudden, I think he'd be in good shape there. But Shattenkirk's always expensive. I remember they do not like trading away Kevin Shattenkirk, but I think that's where we're actually going to start here, because we talked about the cap issues we have. We'll see if we can make something happen here with Tampa, but again, you almost have to trade the whole house. They probably declined Crosby for Shattenkirk the way they do with Shattenkirk over here. Joseph looks like our highest trade asset. Well, we do not have actually a lot of assets over here on Pittsburgh, surprisingly, when it comes to trade value, that is, at least. That we're going to have to make cap space as well. Then we talk about defensemen on the team. We'll go by overall so we can see what's working in here. Oh, they want these guys. Perfect. So Jack Johnson's a guy that'll probably go. I like him first. I don't mind keeping Marino. He clearly fit on that second line. If, you know, all worst came to worst, he can still play it. Jack Johnson doesn't, well, he does too, I guess, doesn't fit as well on that second line. He ain't going to play there, though. He don't fit on the third line, and he's too expensive. So Jack Johnson's going to be the first one to go here as far as casualties are concerned to make us some cap space. So we'll go Johnson. They want Jack Johnson. I'm glad you do. Everybody does. Everybody likes a good ex-Blue Jacket. The draft picks not looking hot. So we're going to have to be very precise with these moves with the Penguins, because we're literally working with just draft picks here. And Joseph. Draft picks and Joseph. They do not want Joseph. I guess we have a couple guys in the AHL, but I know they're not going to take the first round picks. That's the problem. They're very stingy over here, and Tampa would be over the league maximum salary cap. That's also a problem. Tampa. Yeah. Tampa. What are you thinking? We don't have to give you Jack Johnson, I guess. We could just trade him away to a team. Pittsburgh would be have over more than 45 skaters in the organization. We could do that as well, I guess. So we'll talk about defensemen here. And we'll look for, because I'm assuming Jack Johnson has some trade value at a 79, $3 million. Maybe not. We'll take that chance. We'll take that chance and see what happens here. So we'll, again, we're going to have to trade away a player. We'll go, I guess, is Joseph going to keep us under the cap here? Yes, he will. Okay, so that's clearly an overpay. But again, if we want Shattenkirk, that's going to end up happening here. And we're in such a pickle where we can't really afford to just give every single player on a high contract away because we don't have the trade value to get it back. So we're probably going to have to try a second here. I'll throw a third on just to do it first, but I'm guaranteeing they don't take this. Yeah, they ain't going to do it. They never do. They're very stingy. They're probably going to force us to throw a second round pick on there, or a first round pick, to be completely honest. But we'll see what we can make happen. A second. Trade rejected. We'll throw on a third. I'd like to save that first if we could. Probably not going to be able to. Tampa totally unrealistic is what you're asking for. I understand. But you're going to have to, because that contract is something we desperately need here. So we'll go to the third. And Shattenkirk. Trade rejected. We are saving salary. Resign free. Oh, shut your face. Saving salary. Oh, I get it. I gotcha. The entry-level contract is too much. It's too much for you guys to take on. You're trying to save money for the future. I get it. I understand. When you're in that sort of cap issue where you can't afford an entry-level guy, you guys are in some trouble. You're just not going to be able to sign anybody. You're just going to have to not sign anybody in the offseason because you can't afford an entry-level contract. We're throwing a fourth. Oh my goodness, come on, Tampa, don't do us like this. At least we haven't had to give up a first. They want this fourth. They didn't want the other fourth. Is that going to do the trick? No, it's not. We're going to throw in another third or a second to get this guy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We don't want to do another second. We're going to do the third. Be as stingy as possible. And they are being the same exact way. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. I can't believe it. I can't believe the reason this trade currently is not going through is because they are trying to save money. Here, I can't believe I'm doing this. Let me retain 165K for you guys. That wasn't going to do it. I was going to laugh though if it did. I really was. It's going to happen. Shattenkirk's going to be a Pittsburgh Penguin. And I'm unfreaking real. Unfreaking real. I guess we have to do it. I guess we have to throw in the first. I don't even know if that's going to be enough. We have to throw in the first because I know if we want Jake Muzzin, they're going to charge us 3 or 4 first-round draft picks, especially this early in the year. They always do. We'll drop the second. We'll go 2/3 and a first. That is such an overpay. Oh, of course you're going to take it. Who wouldn't? I hope you can afford that 600K contract, though, Tampa. My feelings are, my deepest of condolences are currently out there for you guys right now. I just can't imagine having to take on that atrocious, such an overpay of a contract. I hope you guys can handle it. Let's take a look at these lines real quick. The AHL probably needs fixed. Is that what we're worried about here? Yeah, the AHL and the defense. It was a third-line defenseman with great potential. We need to get him some more reps anyway. We'll put you in there in all lines. We'll go to the NHL. We'll take a look at the defense here. It's going to be, what do we say? Jack Johnson's going to be the one that's got to go. We have 2+3. Oh, yeah, we knew we had 2+3s. Jack Johnson's going to go. Put Shattenkirk. Dumoulin's a defensive defenseman. How's he going to work there? Not well. Shattenkirk. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yup. That is what it looks like to play good on every single defensive pairing line. EA says, oh, fits on all D pairs. Oh, except the third. Third line, not so much. Or it's not the first or the second, really. It's a tough start. It's a tough start with these Penguins. We're going to make it work, though. We're going to make it work. This might be our second line instead. No. Okay. Okay. All right, cool. The defensive and offensive defenseman pairing is not going to work there. That is unfortunate. So what is it that Marino fits so well here for? So Shattenkirk was just a bust. A big bust for us. That kind of stinks a little bit. But he's cheap, I guess. So we got that going for us still. Huh. You know, the new Schultz and Dumoulin make a +5 combo together. That's kind of cool. Can we do that on his second line? No, not even close. Schultz and Dumoulin will make that happen. Unfortunate. That was nice. I'm going to say our answer here for defense is hoping and praying. Again, we're not trying to go for a big name here, which would be nice to have, but we just can't afford it. Would be to get, again, that 82 to 84 range. And really, just if he would fit on the second line. Because, see, that's the issue we're having here with Dumoulin is if we had a defensive defenseman with Marino's, max second line here, I think that would get the +3. If it wouldn't, still not a big deal. But we need to find a third line guy even more desperately here. Nobody wants to play on this third line. We've seen a lot of guys that play on the third line pretty well in free agency, thankfully. But for now, what do we say we wanted to look for? A sniper, I think, was the goal here on offense. So we'll look around here. Yeah, sniper looks like something. If we could pick up a sniper maybe for that second line-ish, that'd probably be well there. We'll see if we can make that work here. First thing we got to do here, though, is make a trade for Jack Johnson. Hopefully somebody wants him. They do. Oh, perfect. Detroit's want to give up a third-round pick, too. That could help this team out. A third-round pick. We need Street, a fourth and a sixth, a third and a fifth. The third and a fifth's a little bit better there, but the Detroit third's got to be worth more. A third and a fifth for LA. LA's got to be worth quite a bit. We'll go with the LA third and a fifth. There we go. See you later, Jack Johnson. All right. And the next question is, again, when we talk about, even if it's forwards, where will we go to make some space for these guys? We'll worry about that here in a second, I think. I'll take a look here just to see what we have laying around. Again, Tanev. Tanev was the guy I think we was talking about, right? That we talk about moving. How's he fit, though? He's got good chemistry on every line. I do like seeing that. 85, 84, 87 on the defense there. He could be a bottom six guy if we needed that. Again, though, is the price worth that? Bukestad was the guy that was very interesting because he was a power forward. I thought, man, you could put him somewhere and, you know, make some hay here. But it's not looking like that's the case for these guys. How did he not fit on the first line? How did Buki not fit on that first line of that max chemistry and +5 that line? Or did it? Hornquist is there now and does not want to be there. I thought we tried this already. We did, and it only +3 did. Interesting. It must be these guys that don't fit as well on the first line as they used to. Yeah, Crosby don't fit as well as he used to. Does Malkin fit there? Want to get ballsy? Does Malkin fit better than Crosby? No. We're going to try it. No, you know what, though? Crosby might be better on the second line. That is very close. Imagine a world where we put Crosby on the second line. Now, that would be a good time. All right, so this could be a shot in the dark, but Kovalchuk, entry-level deal, fits on forward line too. That's what they tell us. Power play machine as well out there. That could be our man. We could take a chance on. The problem is, again, you talk Kovalchuk. He's one of those guys. EA says he fits on the second line. Can you trust that? You never know. And if he doesn't fit on the second line, we really don't have a place for him on this team. But we'll give it a try because it is a low value trade here. It doesn't cost much, and he's not an expensive guy. So I think for that reason, we can give this a try and see what we can make happen here. We will talk. Who's not playing? Reese is not playing at 1.10 or 1.015 million. He's the guy who was talking about replacing, right? Two-way forward, 83 defensive awareness, 82 shot. Yeah, it's about average everywhere. He fits well with the chemistry, but again, Rodriguez is actually getting paid more, and he's not playing, right? Yeah, he's a depth forward. That might be the guy we get rid of, a playmaker. Yeah, we ain't gonna use a playmaker on the bottom lines. So yeah, we'll actually get rid of Rodriguez here. He's got a little bit more of a contract on him. I'm assuming they don't take that straight up. Now we're not there yet, so we'll go not much more, hopefully. Maybe a third-round draft pick. You know, Detroit's or LA's third. Where's LA's other third-round pick? What'd they give us? Like a 2022 third-round pick? Where'd it go? Was it not their 20? Oh, it's Toronto's third. Okay, that'll do it. So Toronto's third-round pick. And Rodriguez for Kovalchuk. Trade rejected. Okay, that's all right. Not a big deal. We can throw on maybe a fifth. Doesn't take too much for Kovalchuk, I'm not thinking here. Maybe more than I'm expecting, though. We'll throw on a fourth. Again, they ain't really going to get us any other players down the road. We're just nickel and diming these guys. It might cost them a little bit more. Throwing another fifth for Kovalchuk. Not going to happen. Okay, so we had to up the ante here just a little bit for Kovalchuk. We don't have a lot of third-round picks laying around. Somebody trade them all away. Trade them all away for a guy that don't fit on the team. Make that work. There we go. Okay, a couple thirds, a fourth. I'm happy to accept this proposal. I'm sure you are, considering you know. Well, maybe not. Kovalchuk could have been a good presence for your team there. We'll see how he fits on this team, though. That's going to be important. Let's grab a defenseman real quick, though. We have Butcher and we have Muzzin. As we expected, shot blocking 86, 88, 87 on Butcher. A decent player on the offense, can move the puck a bit. Muzzin's about the same. I feel like Muzzin's going to cost us more, but he's an 85 compared to that 84. How much of a difference do we have there on the defensive abilities? 89 shot blocking, 88 stick, 88 defensive awareness. Compared to, it's a little bit better too. That's interesting there. I'd take the guy that's better defensively here if we could, I think. So we're going to try Muzzin. I'm afraid to see how much Toronto wants for Muzzin, though. And that's going to be the problem we run into here. So we'll go, it's going to cost us some prospects. Again, got to be very careful with these Pittsburgh Penguins. Not a lot to work with here as far as trade value is concerned. We'll get rid of some prospects here. And it's going to cost us a draft pick, probably a first. Again, I'm afraid to see how many firsts they want us to give up for Jake Muzzin. That's what they are very greedy with. There's Muzzin in a first. Trade rejected. There we are. There's one. There's one first-round draft pick already. We'll throw in the second. Trade accepted. Too easy. Because we're throwing in prospects. All right, so we got a couple players. Only a couple small changes here for these Penguins. It's all we can really afford. Maybe we start simming some games up here. If Kovalchuk can plug into this lineup, that's going to be key here. Reese is going to be the guy that I believe is gone, right? That's who he's talking about. Face-offs 82, 85, 83, 87. Again, looking for the defensive players here if we can. So, yeah, we'll replace him, see how this works. Kovalchuk goes here. Here's a big question. How does his chemistry look? Hit me with the DA. Yep, that's kind of what I expected when I said he was a second-line guy. Not really. So, who was it going to be? Rust or... I guess either or. Rust or McCain can leave. Which one plays better on the line here? It is... Looks like McCain. So we'll put you here, and it's not going to... Kovalchuk, and it did not +3 or anything. I'm not surprised. Not surprised at all. Okay, so Kovalchuk... He does fit on that fourth line, interestingly enough, but he ain't got no defense. Yeah, he ain't got no defensive stats. That's not going to work. But Kovalchuk being a guy that is more of a goal scorer could help that line out, though, I think, though. Regardless of the chemistry, they did need more of a sniper on that line. But this ain't going to change anything, will it? No. Our play point, it's not working. They changed it up on us a little bit here. Can't get the chemistries to align. Man, that +5 on the first line just looked fan-frickin-tastic, though, would it not? Ooh, Gensel could go on the second line. I don't think either one of these guys... Gensel does fit on that second line. So does Crosby. What if we just spice things up a little bit here? Nah, that's not going to work. But, you know, it's interesting, though. At +3s, if we switch that up and put Kovalchuk and Malkin on the first line, right? Gensel and Crosby are solid players. As is. You bump up these guys, though, a little bit and help them out. Or, that's not going to... Yeah, Hornquist has to stay there. Does that answer the problem? Then we put Bukestad. Okay, now we're talking. Now we're talking. Bukestad on the second line. Did Bukestad not fit there before with these guys on the second line? Was that a problem? It must have been a problem. Yeah, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about Buki on the second. You +3 both lines. Malkin, Kovalchuk, and Hornquist on the first line. Malkin's not much of a downgrade. Now, the Kovalchuk to Gensel thing's a little different, but Kovalchuk's a goal scorer. Malkin's a good playmaker. Well, so is Gensel, I guess, there. But how is Kovalchuk? Goal scorer as far as Kovalchuk's concerned, though. A lot better on that area there. And so we talk about that. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that line. We can give that a try there. Jason Zucker's an 84 overall. Did not realize that. Good for Jason Zucker. We got some depth over here, I guess. The center and McCain, he can play center, right? Yeah, he can play center. Perfect. That's great. So can Rust, but McCain's the better center there. We don't need to worry about that bottom. Oh, we'd like to move Rust up, though, if we could, I guess, right? Yeah, if we could try that. Maybe Tanev on the fourth line. Is he going to fit there? He's going to have to fit there. So Tanev's on the fourth line, though. We may as well trade the guy at that contract. I don't mind that, though. 80's all in the bottom six, plus Zucker is actually solid. I guess we didn't have to force that Kovalchuk trade. I forgot all about free agency. But it's playmakers in free agency, I think, that you're going to find. I like that first two lines there. And then we have Letang Schultz, and it's going to be, man, Marino's the guy that I don't think it matters. I think both these guys struggle. It looks like it might be Pedersen. We'll just drop the lower overall here and make it easy. Put Muzzin in. See what we can plug and play with here. That minuses that line. You got to love to see something like that. Hit me with the DA. Hit me with the DA. Another guy that doesn't want to play on the third line. I don't know what our coach is, but nobody, I repeat, nobody wants to play on his second line of this team. But it's an upgrade. We put Muzzin and Shattenkirk together. I like that. I'll check to see it. Oh, geez, there's that combination. Schultz and Shattenkirk together. I don't like that. What about you two together? Nope. And yeah, regardless of the chemistry, +1, +3, that's good. The bottom line is the one that concerns me, that there is no chemistry. But again, they're solid players. Dumoulin, Pedersen, not bad guys. We'll see how they play together, I think. We'll give it a few games, maybe half the season. You know, it's kind of like a few. And then the special teams, Gensel, Malkin, Crosby. Where's Kovalchuk at? Hello, Kovalchuk the GOAT. Power play specialist. Got to stick him in there. And what if we put him on that first line? Is that going to change anything? It's not, apparently. I'd like to get Kovalchuk in that first line, no. Surprisingly, that does not +1 anything there. Malkin on his second line changes the second line a little bit. We got to keep Malkin on the first line. Let's not get crazy here. So we'll put you here. We'll put you here. We'll get Kovalchuk on at the top of the point there, slapping some bangers in there. That'll work. And then we have one of these guys got to be able to actually play center. So Russ is going to have to take the draws on this line. And we'll work with that. We'll see how the power play does, I guess. The penalty kill, make sure Kovalchuk's not on this penalty kill. And he is. That's a bad idea there. So we'll switch him with his Hornquist playing anywhere. No. So we'll put Hornquist on the penalty kill. We'll change that right there. It's still -2. They did not like that at all. It's because Schultz and Shattenkirk should not be on the penalty kill together, two offensive defensemen. So we will go... I'm going to go Muzzin here. Put Muzzin in that line. That fixes that. Dumoulin, Letang. Tanev, what is the problem here? Are you not a penalty killer? Your defensive stats look decent. Maybe we put Muzzin on the first line then. Yeah, I'd rather Muzzin on the first line if we could do that. Powered up on that first line penalty kill unit, and then Shattenkirk, maybe it's because he's a two-way, or not a two-way defenseman in general here. What if we put, I think I just put the same guy there twice. That improves it, but I don't like the lower overall defense there. We'll see how it goes, though. We'll give it a try. Worst comes to worst, we can change it down the road. 3-man penalty kill. Oh, that looks just beautiful. Just beautiful. I'd love to see the -3s. That makes me so happy. Such a nice thing. We'll put the defensive defenseman in there. Still minus there. Well, Dumoulin can't play on lines. We'll put Pedersen there. We got to do something to get those offensive defensemen out of the 3-on-5, though. That's just not going to work. So we'll put you there. Again, Muzzin's going to have to play. Yeah, that'll work there. Maybe we switch Muzzin up on the first line, though, if we're going to do the penalty kill like that. Doesn't look to be providing any answers, though. We'll leave it as is, though, just like that. And Dumoulin and Pedersen there on the fourth line. We'll be good. Let's start some games up here, see how these Penguins can do. Again, it's really, I think, the defense that's still concerning me a little bit here, but the first line's solid. I still like the Shattenkirk-Muzzin deal there, so we'll see how that goes. Get these games going, though, see how we can get out of the preseason. Hey, we picked up a W there. Oh, I'm happy to join the team. Well, thank you for joining. I forgot we did sign that head coach or associate coach there. Do we gain that? Maybe that helped the chemistry. Probably not, but it'd be nice. It was a defensive-minded coach there. I've wondered that. Has anybody went in depth with the coaching staff how much the backup coaches help with chemistry and stuff? I'd imagine not a whole lot, but maybe it does. Okay, Penguins starting 2-2. Not bad, I guess. You'd like to start a little bit better. But you know what? You got to lose to the Buffalo Sabres to start the season. I mean, why not? So 2-4-1, 2-5-2. The Penguins struggling early. I got to get the win streak going. There we go. A couple big ones, too. Both of them down there in Florida. Then beating Dallas. Got to keep the win streak going if they can. Slow start's not a big deal. You can always turn it around, and that's what these Pittsburgh Penguins are doing right now. They are on fire. 1-0 victory against the New York Islanders. Let's finish up the month of November. You got the Chicago Blackhawks. That's a no. That's the first one in about 9 games. Back-to-back L's. Let's try to control it here. Pick up 1 of 2 here. Yeah, we got it. All right, got the front end there against the Devils. Needed to beat the Devils if we could. Can we beat them again in a week later? The answer is no. The Penguins find themselves sitting at 11-11 on this season. A rough start to the year. Want to see these guys play better than this. Again, they started, 2-5 though? So since then, not playing as bad though at the end of the day. They went 2-5, and now they are, since then, they are 12-6 and whatever overtime losses they have there. So it's not terrible. We will take a look though real quick, see how this team's performing. Again, I'll check out the lines real quick. I'm assuming that coach meant absolutely nothing from a line chemistry standpoint, but we'll look just to make sure. Nope, nothing there. Defense. As long as nobody can play on a fourth line, nothing changed. And the answer is, oh, Dumoulin plays on a fourth line. Well, that's nice to see. So if we could actually pick up, I didn't notice that. If we could pick up one guy that could play on the fourth line, that might actually help us there. How's the points looking? They're +7. They're not actually doing that bad. Pedersen and Dumoulin playing good together. Really good together. Shattenkirk decent. Team's actually got a really good plus-minus everywhere except Schultz and Letang. Wow, the first line struggling. You don't like seeing that. What's causing the problems there? Schultz and Letang. Is it because Schultz is an offensive defenseman at an 83? I don't really know. That does not go there, that's for sure. Shattenkirk is not supposed to be on that first line. I want to keep that there if we can make it work. That's kind of sucks. Like a lot. Should not be the -10 and the -7 out of these fellas up here on the first line. How are they playing this season? 32 blocks, 20. That's a lot of giveaways. 22 giveaways, 12 takeaways. I think that's a lot of giveaways. For defenseman, pretty sure it is. We'll take a look at Letang to see a little comparison stakes here. Yeah, he's got 4 takeaways. Oh, he's got 26 giveaways. Not a lot of takeaways for Letang this season either. What's Letang doing here? Defensive awareness is decent. Stick shot, decent as well. We dared trade Letang? Nice, an 88 overall. I don't think we can do that. I guess we'll play it out and see what happens. What did we say? Let's keep an eye on him. Plus, -10. And a -7. So Schultz is clearly the the guy holding that line down a little bit there still. But we're gonna give it a little extra try there if we can. And as far as the offense is concerned, Kovalchuk right now 12 goals, 15 assists, playing really well. Near a point per game. So that line's killing it. Malkin a lot of assists as you would expect. And then Hornquist locked in 22 minutes a night. Playing well everywhere though. Still playing good there. Second line of Bukestad 14 points. That was something we was concerned about, putting Buki up there. We could look for a power forward for that second line, but would that do the trick as well as him? I'm so afraid to trade for players now. Seeing the way, is Crosby playing? Why is he only getting 16 minutes a night? He's on the power play, right? Special teams, power play, Crosby. Yeah, right there. Okay, so we need to get more time out there on the ice. Gensel, same story. They're just not playing a lot. So 24 points, still not bad for that second line. 23 there for Crosby. And then again, we brought it up for Bukestad as well. He's kind of holding that line down a little bit right now. I'd like to see him bounce back if he could. Minus 13, that third line. Rust, Zucker, Sheary struggling right now. So there's where the issue is. Rust, Sheary, and Zucker. That's what do we got rocking here? Playmaker, shot caller. So maybe Sheary gets off that line. We put somebody that can play a little bit more defensively up there if we could. Maybe a Tanev of the world. Is he a better defensive player than Connor Sheary? It looks a little bit like it there. We'll put you up here. Maybe. Yeah, we'll have to try that out there. Even though it's not going to +1 to line. Not really that worried about it. I'm more worried about the way these guys are playing defensively. And the bad thing is Tanev was actually the only guy that was a negative on that fourth line. Well, no, Marlowe was even. Or McCain was a negative as well. So how's Marlowe look? Would he fit up there? Marlowe's not a power forward. Yeah, he's a sniper. That concerns me. Interestingly enough, though, you throw that power or that playmaker and sniper there on that bottom line. See, I don't like that with the bottom line. That always concerns me, is putting guys that are, ooh, look at that. Kovalchuk, you're getting bench, pal. Marlowe for the first line. But it concerns me putting guys that aren't two-way power forward type guys on the bottom lines. I feel like they play a lot better when you don't have guys like that. They fit the bottom six role a lot better. So we'll be patient. We'll see how this bottom line performs here. We'll give it a few more games. If we have to go out there again, grab some more defensive-minded bottom six guys, move Sheary. That might actually free up some cap space as well there. Marlowe's obviously on that entry-level deal still, so you don't want to move him if you don't have to. But 14, 11, and 4 right now are these Penguins. Got to beat the Detroit Red Wings, and they will not. Montreal in game number 2 of the month. That's about number 6 of the month there. Another losing streak there against the Kings, the Calgary Flames. Team's not looking too good right now. Team has been struggling 17 and 14 back-to-back against the Nashville Predators, and they will lose 1 and win 1. Not bad there. You got to beat the Senators in regulation, but hey, we'll take the W there, I guess. Montreal, the victory there. Florida, the big W. Big W over there in the Vegasville. At Vegas? Yeah, it was at Vegas. So 23 and 16. Not doing too bad. January here. Are we in a playoff spot? That's kind of important. Yes. All right, so looking at it again, Letang -4, Schultz -10. So at month time, it didn't get any worse. It was kind of even, which isn't terrible. The third line, it's there. It's there. And if we could upgrade it, I feel like we have a really deep area or team from that standpoint. But I guess if you talk about maybe dropping a Zucker or a Sheary from the team, what is Sheary's contract? And picking up a third line guy, that might help Sheary's $2.9 million there. That could happen. I wouldn't mind trying to find a power forward and seeing if that would fit, if it doesn't fit on a second line with Bukestad there, because he's still at 20 points in 44 games. I'd like to see him do better there. I guess it isn't terrible when you consider what the other two are doing, but an improvement is an improvement there. See how we're doing from a standing standpoint here as far as points or goals for per game and goals against. Maybe it's just, it's been a rough stretch of it, and we've just been struggling every once in a while, and we'll, bounce through it the rest of the season here. 23, 6, and 5 right now, or 23, that'd be nice, 23, 6, and 5. 23, 16, and 5. 3.09 goals for per game, so that's decent. That's, top of the division minus Carolina. The goals against is high still, 2.86. Yeah, do not like that. That is concerning there for sure. And it is all in the penalty kill, 78.4. I don't remember the last time we had a penalty kill that low. That is ridiculously low. So let's see what we can fix here on that penalty kill. Man, I didn't expect that penalty kill to be that bad. So that might be why we're struggling so badly here, is all in that penalty kill. So penalty kill, Tanev, McCain, Muzzin, and Letang there. Who can we slide in that would help that a little bit? It's the question. I don't really know. The thing is, we have 2 offensive and defensive, so the defense has to stay as is. Maybe we could swap out, balance it out a little bit, put Letang and these guys on separate lines there. That could help a little bit. Tanev, who could we put here? Bukestad could play, I guess. Is Bukey a better face-off guy? He's got a 75 there. Rust has a 60. That's terrible. You don't want that there. If we could swap out Rust for somebody who can win face-offs, that'd be fantastic. And Bukey win him 77. That's better. You got to win the draws, right? You got to win the draws. EA did not agree with that, though. It was a -1. I don't really care. Clearly, what we had before was not working, so we got to try to switch something up there. And then maybe if we put Hornquist, was it Hornquist that we just took out there? No, it wasn't Hornquist. It was Brian Rust. Was it Brian Rust? Is it Brian? Yeah, it's Brian. Why was I thinking it wasn't Brian? So we'll put Rust back in there. Yeah, +1's that. Maybe that'll help it out a little bit. We'll see what happens there. Got to try something different. Clearly struggling on that penalty kill. we'll try to fight through it. It's risky business right now at 23-16. I'd like to see us dominate a little bit better, but 23-16, I guess, as nerve-wracking as it is, isn't really that bad. But wow, look at that schedule coming up there. And we got 3 games against Tampa in the next month. That is going to be a great time. There's a W against the Minnesota Wild. Going to drop the Bruins one. And the Detroit. You got to quit losing to the Detroit freaking Red Wings, fellas. Not working. What we tried there is not working. That All-Star break needed to help us, and it's not. It's time to make some trades. Can't even wait. Can't even wait for these Pittsburgh Penguins. Not at 24-22. How did the penalty kill look, though, in that time frame? I'd like to hear about it. Let's take a look here just for a good time. Maybe it improved. Not losing every game, though. I'm assuming it didn't. Just going to throw it out there. 81. It did get better. Just probably not scoring as many goals. We'll see what we can find here. We are going to try for Charlie Coyle. We're going to go Sherry for Coyle. Keep the contracts close if we can there. Top 6 forward lines he fits. Power forward guy. Again, if he doesn't fit there, we can move down to the bottom 6 and make some progress there. I think we'll send that trade. Trade rejected. Okay, so 2 seconds for Coyle. Not quite enough. We've actually done a decent job of saving our first round picks, it looks like, so far. Probably in the 2025. Second round pick there. Still trade rejected. Then go to trade block. I understand. You're not going to trade him. There is other guys out there. We're going to go 4 first, second round draft picks. We're going to let second round picks from. It doesn't matter because they ain't making the trade and accepting it there. So we're going to throw in a... Oh, man, that's ridiculous for Charlie Coyle. Charlie Coyle. That is kind of pricey. So we have 3 first round draft picks left. I can't believe we're paying this much for Charlie Coyle. 2 seconds, a third. That's steep. That is very steep. Trade accepted. Okay. We'll see how it works. We might go one more player. We'll take a look at these lines here. One more player with those draft picks because we're kind of in a do or die mode now. We're almost outside of playoffs, so we kind of have to force our hands into making any sort of big move we can here. So moving Coyle to the second line does help there. That's an upgrade from Bukestad, I think. His chemistry, he does fit on the fourth line pretty well actually there too. How about that? Good for Charlie Coyle. Team player wants to play everywhere except the third line. So you look at Coyle. How was Hornquist looking up here on that? Yeah, he's really good on that first line. So we like that there, I think. Again, if we could switch up those first 2 lines still, that'd be fantastic. To find a way to get Gensel. Ah, there we go. That'll work. Gensel on the first line. That's kind of what he's looking for there. I think Kovalchuk must play better with Coyle on that line. I would have to assume there. We can't switch those 2 up, though. No, we can't get that excited. Don't get that excited now, fellas. Come on. Actually, there we go. So Kovalchuk, Crosby, Hornquist, Malkin, Gensel, Coyle. Do I like that better? 42 points out of Crosby, 47 out of Malkin. Is that better than, say, putting Gensel back on that first line? That's the question. What did we do to have that +5 earlier? We had a +5 on this chemistry earlier. Was it these 3 together? No. Who the heck was it that was playing together? We'll take a look here. See if we can make that happen. I'm assuming maybe... you know what it was? It was when we had the other coach. That's what it was. Again, I was saying, though, I don't think the bottom 6 is bad. When you have a bottom line, 80s across the board, and they're defensive-minded guys, I don't think that's an issue there. What's really killing me is the Shattenkirk and Muzzin situation here, as we traded for both those guys, and the Letang and Schultz situation is how long do you stick with those 2 guys, even with that chemistry, when they're struggling at the way they are right now? That's what's bothered me so much right now. Is Muzzin instead of Letang in that first line. That would be a little bold right there, I'd have to say. Because the bottom line's our best line. I'll keep looking like, oh, you can move Dumoulin. Why? They're +16 and +17 right now. Playing really well. It's gut-wrenching to see your top line be the line that's struggling the most. All right, so we've literally went through every single one of these defensemen. We went to Yamerson, we tried Suter, we tried Manson. So I guess we're going down to an 83 overall, and we're going to try Tanev. We desperately need a defensive defenseman, all defensive pairings. We tried it out, we edited it out, so you guys have to see. That was going to be like a 6-hour extra video there of me frustrated. You should have seen it. Oh, we was going to town. We was just heading in second round. We had like 2 first round draft picks to all of those players, plus some, and they wouldn't do it. I couldn't believe it. That's all we have as assets are concerned is 2 first-round draft picks. They're going to have to retain salary for us, this team is, if I had to guess. I don't know. He's only got a 2-year deal left on him, though, so maybe not if we're lucky there. We're going to go ahead and, again, we'll move the same players we've been moving here. They do not want you. They do want you. We're going to go draft picks. Again, I apologize if you're like, wow, you just threw him the whole house right away. All right, we've been dealing with this for a while now, and it's been frustrating, so we're just trying to make whatever we can make work here. They're going to have to retain like $500K, and that is literally it. Better do it. Will they take that, though, for Tanev? Yes, that was an overpay, but we got to do it. We're at that point of the year. We have to try something to try and get this team into playoffs. And our thought process here is, you know, you get that defensive defenseman and you put him with a guy like Schultz and you hope that wins this or helps this team out in general. Man, I guess I wasn't really thinking it through too much because one of these guys, see, we could still move Shattenkirk or Muzzin, I guess, was an option because I really don't want to mess with this bottom line. They've been playing so well together. But we'll put Tanev in to see what this can do. At the very worst, it does nothing, right? Yeah, +5. That's what I wanted to see. So the +5, 288s on the first line, I consider that solid. And then you look at Letang, Shattenkirk. Where do we go with these guys? Shattenkirk on the bottom line. I like that better. Shattenkirk playing on the fourth line, because I feel like he hasn't been playing the greatest. So if we could put him there, that'd work. Tanev, Schultz, and then Muzzin and Letang on the second line. Interesting to see having those guys there, but that's depth. That's depth. And then you have Dumoulin as well on that bottom line. Dumoulin, a defense and offensive guy. Shattenkirk, see, if Shattenkirk actually had some freaking chemistry, that would be great right there. Schultz is maxed out on the first line. That's what we have him there. Yeah, indeed. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. That's going to be it. We'll see if these boys can win some games playing like this right here. Here we go, though. Tampa up first. Penguins 24-22. It's been a struggle. It's going to be a tough end of the season. One thing we got going for us is the division still very tight. So if we can pick up some wins here, we got a chance. There's a big win against Tampa to start it. Can they win against Florida? There it is. Another one against Tampa. Yes, 3-game win streak. Team finds itself in third place. Got to keep the ball rolling. Can't lose to Detroit. Okay, got to win against Detroit. Beat the Maple Leafs in back-to-backs against them. Yes, sir. Okay. Losing to the Buffalo Sabres. Big game against Washington. Not happening. Trade deadline complete. You can't lose to the LA Kings. It's out west, though. It's a tough place to play, and they did pick up a victory there in that back-to-back I seen. Washington at home getting shut out by the Caps. 4-1 win against the Devils, beating up on the Blue Jackets. Team finds itself in second place. The Pittsburgh Penguins appear to be finding their footing here. If they can avoid a losing streak going into the backstretch of March here, I think they'll be all right. And there's that losing streak we talk about. Second place, though. Still a tight division. Again, not a very high point producing division here, so we could fall out real easy if we lost some games here, so we got to be careful. 42-7, team's gonna make playoffs. They're gonna play the Rangers in the first round. Okay, so we got into playoffs, squeaked in there to these Pittsburgh Penguins. It's hard to believe this season kind of turned out the way it did here. Malkin 75 points. He ended up on the second line, right? And then Crosby right behind him at 74. -14 still out of Schultz and a -19 out of Rust. Rust is a -19. What are you doing, Rust? -19. Schultz -14. So maybe that first line there combo still did not work out too well there. Who was with them? Tanev. No, Tanev was a minus what? 4 or 5 wasn't he when he came to the team? So that didn't do too bad there. Where did Letang go? Yeah, Letang played a lot better. Ended up a +9. So it helped him a lot switching lines, did Letang. Maybe Schultz is the problem though, you know? Regardless, they played better in the second half, or the back stretch there, so I don't want to mess with things too much there. The goaltending might have been kind of important. How did they do there? 918 out of Yari, 910 out of Murray. And then as far as the standings are concerned, the team did finish with 91 points, the Rangers 87, so it should be tight. It could be a good playoff stretch here. 2.85 goals allowed per game, still very high. 2.99 goals against. Again, not happy. I don't know. It's interesting because this is a team. Penalty kill got better, though. It's interesting because it's a team that you expected to make playoffs easy, but maybe they just don't sim up well in this game because they don't have a lot of, you know, I don't want to say a lot of depth, but they don't have a lot of really, I don't know. I don't even know how to put it. I got nothing. We're going to ride this wave, though, against the New York Rangers in the first round. We have home ice advantage, right? Yes, sir. That is indeed what we got going on here for game number 1, a big W. Game number 2, a big W. We can beat these Rangers in the first round, get things rolling here, and these Pittsburgh Penguins could be in business. Like we said, they started playing better. Maybe they're built for playoffs. That could be it. Sweep of the Rangers, the momentum to their backs, right? Oh, man. The Buffalo Sabres upset the Washington Capitals in the first round. Like, so we mentioned anything can happen in playoffs, and now the Pittsburgh Penguins look like they're in the driver's seat if they can beat these Buffalo Sabres. But the Sabres coming in hot early. The Sabres playing hot. I guess they beat the Capitals for a reason. They might sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins next. Oh my goodness, there it is. The Buffalo Sabres sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins in the second round. No way. Sweep the sweep. They went in there a little, I guess, try, I guess. That's the thing with playoffs in NHL games, though. It's so random, though. You never know what can happen. You know, Buffalo just went out there and beat the Penguins and the Capitals to get to the conference finals, but it's going to be the Arizona Coyotes that win it all. As for our Penguins, though, we couldn't quite do it. Got to the second round. It was a roller coaster season. As always, though, guys, if you enjoyed the video, a big thumbs up, subscribe is appreciated and required. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.